Brady and Matt, it's great to have you guys here today on behalf of St. Francis High School. You two, your school in fact, have been inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame, which is coming up, the dinner's coming up on the 23rd of May at the Forrester Hotel in Lake Forest, Illinois. The Sports Faith International Hall of Fame, we induct schools every single year. It's headed by Pat McCaskey, who owns the Chicago Bears. He's one of the owners of the Chicago Bears. So coming up on that weekend, you guys will be inducted into the dinner coming up that weekend. And you're going to be with 3 other schools this year. So on behalf of the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame and WSFI Catholic Radio, I want to just say congratulations to you guys. Also, congrats on the state championship.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
We appreciate it.
So you guys are both seniors. You will be headed to school where?
Carroll University in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Will you be playing football?
Yes, I will be playing football.
All right. And you're going to be headed to San Diego State, correct?
Yes, I will be.
Playing football there?
I will be, yes.
And you guys are big boys, so I'm assuming offensive, defensive line?
Yes.
Yeah,
nice.
O-line.
O-line, awesome, great. So I just wanted to kind of start off, talk a little bit about your guys' season. You guys went 11-3. You won the state championship. What was kind of the defining moment for you guys, besides obviously winning the state championship, but the defining moment you felt during that season where you said, we could be a real special group?
I think even after our week 1 win, we didn't play the best to our abilities, what we thought we could have, but we know it was a week 1 game. But we saw what we could do immediately. If we trusted each other, do our stuff, do our jobs, we could make a run.
And then for me, as the season went on, we had our ups and downs, obviously, as any season does. But for me, I think the big turning point was our first round of playoffs. We were down 14. Going into, I think, the fourth quarter, we were still down 14. And we scored 21 unanswered to come back and win that game on the road. And after that, I knew that we definitely had the team to make a deep run. And we ended up doing just that.
And then the next week you guys played Prairie Ridge, and that was a close game too. You won that game 41-38. That was another tight ball game.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Do you want to go or do you want me?
I think it was just we struggled a little bit on defense the first half. Offensively we played great. Did exactly what we wanted to do. Defensively, we struggled. We just needed a second half. We came in. We had to flip the switch. It was just the same message of, if we didn't get it done that week, we weren't going to play the next.
Yeah, and then that game we'd kind of realized in the first half. We'd known earlier in the week it was going to be back and forth offensive battle. But we went into halftime, and like Matt said, we knew if we could just get 1 stop, maybe 2 stops, that we'd be able to pull through and win that game. And for me, that game meant a lot because the year before I'd gotten injured in that game. So for me, it meant a lot to me to want to beat them, and it gave me that extra power to go out there and beat them.
Redemption was a big thing for you guys. How were you guys able to kind of take that and be able to put that as your goal for the season, saying, hey, I got injured, but I want to stay healthy this year and be ready for the big games? What was kind of like the selling point for you guys to say, hey, I'm going to come back stronger than ever?
I think my selling point, the biggest one, is earlier in my career here at St. Francis, my sophomore year, I actually was able to play with my older brother.
Nice. And
that was kind of the first year, or the second year we lost in the semifinals. And just seeing how everyone, they're there, they lose, but you're still able to play. You might be a little hurt, but that gives you a little push to make it past for the people who got us there in the first place.
Yeah, and kind of the same as Matt. Just seeing how everyone else had reacted in the past, knowing what it meant to not be able to play again. It kind of just gave you that extra fuel, along with wanting to come back from that injury. Just makes you really even have more motivation than others might have just playing in general.
What does it mean for you guys to get a chance to play for St. Francis?
For me, every opportunity I've had here, I've loved it. I came here, and I was deciding between a couple other schools, and it was kind of Bob and just the school community in general that made me really want to come here. And it's meant the world to play here. Our program has become such a high caliber program over the last 4 years, and to have the privilege to play for such an amazing coach like Coach Bob, but also other coaches in our coaching staff who have played at the highest level, it truly meant a lot, and I was just happy to be a part of it and happy to bring home our first state championship in 18 years to St. Francis.
I think my biggest for playing for St. Francis was my mom is actually the athletic trainer here at Sarah Anderson, and
nice.
Yeah, and I've been in this community. She's been here for 25 years, I think next year, but I've been in this community my whole life growing up. Being the ball boy, being the water boy on the sidelines, hanging out with all the players when I was like 8 years old, and then seeing it change when I grew up, where we weren't very good when I was a little younger, but now we're this level of talent, and just seeing how everything comes together, and like wishing to be out on the field, and now I got to live that out, and it was pretty special being able to make it a state.
You guys have a favorite biblical passage?
Yeah, mine is John 4:13, which is a lot of people's quote. I feel like just saying, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," and to me that means a lot, because whether it's on the field or whether it's in the classroom, whatever it may be, it's kind of just a quote saying that God's there for you no matter what you need, and He's always there to help you get through tough things and easy things in life.
Yeah, mine, I would say, I guess you could say it's basic, but John 3:16, God for loved the world so much He gave His only Son, where but you have to put everything beside, where you see that sacrifice, where you have to make that sacrifice sometimes, and before everything else, before hate, show love and show compassion for others.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't have a quote from the book of Matthew.
Yeah.
John 3:16 is a good one for sure. I know a lot of people, always when you're at the sporting events, everyone's got John 3:16 on a poster or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you have like a confirmation saint or just a favorite saint in general?
Yeah, my confirmation saint is Saint Dominic. Mm-hmm. I chose him because kind of researching him when I was going through confirmation, I learned that he was a great leader, and I kind of want to inspire to be close to him.
Mm-hmm. My patron saint or my confirmation saint when I did it was St. John Paul II, Pope John Paul II.
Yep.
And I forget exactly what he's the patron saint of. I don't forget if it's football or if it's Catholic sports or if it's sports in general, but it's something along those lines. And that's kind of the main reason why I picked him, and also just because I felt that he was a great pope in general as well.
He's a very good pope for sure. I would have to agree with that. Going into the championship game, you guys were playing Providence Catholic, who were a pretty good team. They were around the same record as you guys. They were 10-3 coming into that game. What was kind of the message in the locker room going into that game from the coaching staff? What was the big key that you guys needed to focus on?
I think for us, the big thing was, we had beat them earlier in that year, so they were obviously going to come out for revenge when we played them a second time around. But us seniors were also coming for a form of revenge because our freshman year they knocked us out of the playoffs here in semifinals. Or for us seniors that remembered it as freshmen, it was almost our time for revenge. I think the message overall that week was just that they weren't going to roll over no matter what it was, but neither were we. We knew it was going to be a battle down to the very last second, which it actually ended up being literally down to the last play.
Yeah.
And we just knew that whoever stayed in it the longest and whoever threw the most punches and got it done was going to be the one that, not actual punches, but hypothetical. But whoever just stayed in it the longest was going to be the one that came out victorious.
Yeah. I think, to me, our biggest message also was, like, trying to beat a team twice, which is very hard in any sport you do, especially football, and we weren't able to do that the past 2 years. But now also just no one in this program has been in a week of state week, so not to get too excited. Treat it like any other game week. Treat it like any other game where don't make the game bigger than it has to be, and just go execute on game day.
And you played them earlier in the season too.
Yes.
You had played them, I believe, it was week 5. I think it was week 5 or week 6.
Yeah, week 5.
And you played them on the road too. So that was definitely, something you had to realize. Like, hey, we know these guys. We played them before. We beat them in their building, on their field. Yeah. So that had to be a little bit of motivation for you guys too, right?
Yeah. Last year during our homecoming game, there was end of the game. They ended up winning, but it was like a controversial call. It was close, but that added a little more fuel to the fire too.
Yeah, and then for us, knowing that we had beat them on their homecoming this year, we knew that they weren't going to like that either, and that they were definitely going to come out with some fire in state.
So is that like just a thing that happens every year? You guys play them on homecoming. One year they'll come to your guys' homecoming. The next year they'll come to your guys. You'll go to their homecoming game. Is that typically how it is?
No, I think it kind of just happened that way based on the scheduling the last couple of years.
Because when you go and beat them on homecoming, that's pretty awesome.
I know, it was.
That's like, we're going to ruin your weekend.
Exactly. But no, I think it kind of just happened that way the last couple of years. I mean, it's kind of been fun getting to play. It's always fun playing another team on their homecoming just because, like what you said, you kind of just had that mentality of wanting to ruin their weekend. But yeah, no, I think the last couple of years it kind of just happened that it got set up that way.
You guys have like a prayer, like a favorite prayer you might say before the game?
I don't think we have like a favorite prayer, but before every meal we have chapel, so we read a Bible verse that maybe will relate to the week, relate to the team we're playing, or the situation that's going on, and then Coach Bob will give his pregame speech after that, and then we'll say the three prayers. We'll say Glory Be, we'll say Hail Mary, and Our Father, and then we'll end it with St. Francis, and then Queen of Victory, pray for us, and then that's kind of our like tradition every team dinner before.
I'll never forget actually our junior year. One of the Bible verses Coach Bob printed out and talked about was David versus Goliath before we went and played Loyola on the road. And going into that game, I mean, no one besides our group that was sitting at that dinner really had faith that we would even put up a fight against Loyola, honestly. And we went out there.
Tough.
We went out there and we beat them our junior year, and that David versus Goliath always kind of stuck with us, or at least it stuck with me throughout the rest of the season and even this year as well. But then also a prayer that I have for myself is just before every drive, I just say, Jesus, I trust in you, Jesus, I trust in you, Jesus, I trust in you. I just do that before every offensive drive, or defensive drive, but usually offensive drive. And it's just kind of a way that I do it during kickoff before I go out there, and then hopefully we have a successful drive.
Couple more questions from me. You talked a lot about Coach Bob. He seems like a real inspiration in your guys' lives. Talk a little bit more about that.
I've kind of he's kind of ever since he's been around here, he's been kind of like tough love almost too. Like he'll get on you if you're doing something wrong, but he's there to coach you up. Even if it's not just football, he's around us in school and he's there. He's always in the hallways. We see him, and he's always there if you need to talk to someone. And just learning that through myself and also other players and other teammates, it's very special.
Yeah, Coach Bob's always been big for me. Ever since I came here as a freshman, I felt like I always had a special connection or a special bond with Coach Bob. And he was always there to inspire me and also the team as well. Kind of like Matt was saying, sometimes it's tough love, but at the end, it's all meant out of like good love and real love. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today, for college especially. Just the outstanding job that he does bringing in coaches day in and day out, like college coaches. For me, I would have never probably met San Diego State or really ever gotten in contact with them if it weren't for Coach Bob. And I think there's a lot of players like that have that same opportunity. And that's all because of what Coach Bob is willing to do for us.
And speaking of schools, explain why you chose to go to the schools that you went to. I'll start off with you, Brady.
Yeah, San Diego State, I mean, when I first visited out there, I always tell people, I was on the plane just looking down at San Diego, and it was the first time I'd ever been there. And even from the plane window, I'm like, yeah, it wouldn't be a terrible place to be at. But no, in all seriousness, the coaching staff out there is amazing. Very young staff, very good staff. They all coached together for many years. They all coached together or most of them coached together, I should say, at Kent State, and then they came to San Diego State together. And I mean, they're wonderful people. They'll get on you when you're not doing something right, but they'll also make sure to compliment you when you're doing something correct. And it's somewhere that I want to be, and somewhere that I felt that mutual respect and that mutual love throughout the recruiting process.
A quick follow-up. They're still playing in the Chargers' old stadium, correct?
Yeah, so they knocked down the Chargers' old stadium.
They did? That stinks.
There's Qualcomm Stadium. They knocked it down, and they built their own, which is now called Snapdragon Stadium, which is an absolutely amazing facility.
They're not playing in that soccer stadium, thank goodness, the one the Chargers were in for a few years over at Carson. Nope. The StubHub Center, if I think was the name of it. Go right ahead.
So the biggest thing for me, for Carroll, as I chose junior day last year, junior year, I went on junior day there, and first when you walked in their gym, I was greeted by 3 or 4 players, and one of the players, he was like, I got you. You're with me today. So he followed me around, talked to me, met some other players, met some other offensive linemen, went through all their like different things, like their gear they get and championships in their season and who's in their conference. But I felt super special. I felt like I was already part of the community first when I walked in there, and then just building a relationship with all the coaches. seeing how that grows, and then also just finally making a decision and feeling that was the right one, not just for sports but with academics.
Small school too. It's
Yeah,
not a big
it
one.
is.
I think it was a D3 or D2.
D3.
D3.
Yeah.
All right. So the small school, you kind of like that?
Yeah. I saw some D2s or NAIAs, and I kind of saw like the academics was a lot better at Carroll, so I chose there.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you
Yes.
today. Congratulations again on the state championship. I know you guys are probably still really enjoying that as you get into the final weeks of school here coming up with graduation. And also, congratulations on making it into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame. We hope to see you guys in Lake Forest at the 4-Star Hotel the weekend of Pentecost, Saturday, May 23rd, for the Hall of Fame dinner. Gentlemen, congratulations again. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
We're back here at St. Francis High School in Wheaton, Illinois. I'm A.J. Shaw, and we're now joined by three incredible gentlemen. Michael Page, the Director of Pastoral Ministry. Hello. We got Dan Hardwick, the Athletic Director.
Hello.
And we got Coach Bob McMillen, the head football coach. Good to see you guys.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you here today. And just a little introduction of what this is about. So you guys, your school has been inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame. The dinner is coming up at the Forrester Hotel on the 23rd of May, the weekend of Pentecost. That's a Saturday. We're going to be inducting you along with three other schools in this year. And Pat McCaskey, who runs it, he's one of the owners of the Chicago Bears. So on behalf of WSFI Catholic Radio, I just wanted to say, first off, congratulations on the state championship, and also congratulations on the induction into this year's Hall of Fame.
Thanks.
It's a great honor.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start off, so you guys, you're no longer of the Franciscan order, but you are Franciscan founded. So explain that a little bit for us.
I can take that one.
Go right ahead.
So yeah, we were founded by the Franciscan sisters, who are still right next door. They're great neighbors. And by two other orders. In 1956, we are celebrating our 70th anniversary this year. Within about 10 years, the orders withdrew from running the school directly. We are an independent Catholic school. But we follow the Franciscan tradition. So we follow the Francis Way, which is nurturing relationships, serving others, seeking wisdom, and encouraging peace. That's something that we take very seriously, all following in the footsteps of our patron, St. Francis.
All right, then. So how does your guys' Catholic identity stand out in your sports programs?
I'll start here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have what I call a formula for success,
Mm-hmm.
and that formula is actually a mathematical formula. It's a big picture plus team plus performance equals success.
Mm-hmm.
Performance is getting our players to perform their absolute best, setting their personal records on a day-to-day basis. Team is more than just teamwork. It is actually a team concept.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more important than your team. And then there's the big picture, and that's where the faith comes in. Big picture is, hey, we really only have one responsibility only as high school coaches, and that is to develop good human beings. We give them a subset of life skills to be successful for the rest of their lives, no matter what they go into. Sportsmanship, conducting ourselves with class at all times. And then the faith part of it is infusing the mission and vision of St. Francis High School into our programs.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that through daily prayers. We do that through services. We do that through the captains and chaplains that we're going to hopefully get into. That's how we fulfill that one. Big picture is first in the formula on purpose. It is the most important part of that formula to be successful. We feel if we take care of all of that, success will take care of itself.
How are you guys able to kind of shape the Catholic identity into your football team?
Well, I mean, obviously going to a Catholic school is something that we're very proud that we make sure that when we go and recruit our young men from the football program, we understand that this is a Catholic institution,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are led by God and Jesus Christ and understanding the Franciscan way, and we've done that. We've tried to instill it with our practices. We do a little bit of a prayer right before our practices, but like the boys said earlier, we do a chapel service that is led by me. In the past, we've had priests, we've had our pastoral ministry leader, which is now Michael, but someone in the past used to do it. So we try to instill faith as much as possible when it comes to that, but knowing that we are playing a physical and barbaric sport, that we need all the help we can upstairs just to make sure that these boys are safe day in and day out.
For sure. So you mentioned captains and chaplains. Let's talk a little bit about that. What is that?
A few years ago, I was doing a Franciscan leadership training program, and one of the women that I met was from St. Bonaventure University, and they do this program there. St. Bonaventure University is a Franciscan university. They do this program there, Captains and Chaplains, and as soon as she started talking about it, I knew, knowing Dan, knowing so many of our coaches, I am a former soccer coach here at St. Francis, knowing so many people and having been here for almost 20 years at that point, I knew that this was something that could be a great fit. And so the idea with Captains and Chaplains is that whether you are officially a team captain or you're just one of those people who holds the spirit of the team, that there are leadership expectations that we have of our students that come from our Franciscan roots. And so those are that we lead with humility. We want our students and our athletic leaders to be known for the right thing. We lead with sisterhood and brotherhood, that we are only as strong as our relationships. We lead with unity. That means that wherever we come from, whatever our skill level, whatever our personal goals are, that we are playing together as one, as a team, and that we put people first, that in our leadership, on the field, in the classroom, in the things that we do, that people are more important than our personal achievements, they're more important than grades, they're more important than a win or a loss, that the people we are playing with, and even the people we're playing against, are more important than any accolades that we can accomplish. At the beginning of each season, fall, winter, spring, we do a training for those leaders, and we teach them these four components of the Captains and Chaplains and Franciscan leadership, and we really empower them to work with their coaches to make those things happen.
I'll add, I've attended the Play Like a Champion Today conference out of the University of Notre Dame, which was fabulous. I've probably been 7 or 8 times, so it fit right into that pocket, if you will. And I think that the biggest thing for me, too, was giving our students a voice. We truly want this to become their program, not just, the coach's program or our program or the school's program. We want it to be their program. And to give them that voice, give them that leadership, ability for them to do that was also part of it.
Great.
Well, I mean, obviously the young men that we just, as a coach, the young men that we, nominate for these positions are someone, obviously they are great young men or women in this position. Not only are they leaders on the field or on the court, they're leaders in the classroom, they're leaders in life. And those are the type of people that we want part of this program, because they're the ones that are going to best, give the total view of what it's all about and what St. Francis is.
So, Michael, you've talked a little bit with the football team before games. What are some things you guys usually talk about before games with the players?
Well, actually, mostly I end up talking with the kids through the day during the school day. I see them in class because I'm a classroom teacher as well as being the director of pastoral ministry. I see them in the halls, and so the things that I talk about them with are, hey, how's practice this week? What are you struggling with? What's been your achievement this week? What is something you're really proud of? And so just to continually touch base with them, to have another person who's not a coach, who's not seeing them, on the field in that way, that can come at it from just a different perspective and can help them integrate what they're doing on the field with what we're doing in the classroom and with what they're doing in the halls and with what they're doing with their friends. So that's my role. That's how I end up really interacting with the guys on football, with the girls in volleyball, or with any of our athletes. So that's how I come at those conversations with our kids, trying to get them to see big picture beyond just the court or the field, and to see how does this fit in with what you're doing in your everyday life.
What are some other community initiatives that you guys might do with the athletic program, or just in general here at the school?
Whether it is, serving at like a soup kitchen, or feed my starving children.
It's a great one.
Absolutely. But we feel that not only are we serving the community, but it also serves as a real bonding, unit for the teams as well. So the team building part of it, we're getting kind of as a subsidiary thing for that. So we try to infuse that as much as possible.
On football,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, giving back is we're very fortunate to be able to play a game that these kids love and everything else. To be able to give back to maybe the less fortunate, the people that aren't able to do some of the things that our kids and our people here at the school are able to do, is something that I think is more important than anything. God gave all these kids an opportunity to play a sport or go to a better school than some other kids. So being able to give back and help as much as possible is, I think, something that we really appreciate doing as a program, because a lot of people don't do that.
What does winning a state championship in football mean for this school?
The greatest thing that we were able to see is it gave back to the community. It gave back to St. Francis. It gave back to the past students and athletes that played here that maybe were close enough or didn't play on the team that was good enough to be there. And to be able to watch the run that we were able to do and see the alumni and the community all come together, and the student body and the faculty all come out and be a part of it, was something truly special. And, it's been 3 months now since we've won a state championship, and it still seems like it was yesterday, and it still seems like there's always someone wanting to say thank you. There's always someone that congratulates you, and it's not just about the football program, it's about the school. This was more than just the football program. It was about giving back to the community and doing something special for the people that have been a part of it for a long time.
I think the community part of it is the key thing. That whole saying about it takes a village. And there's so much that goes into everything, not just the X's and O's, but the team dynamics and the support and the families, bringing in the food, and you go on and on and on. So I think when you have a level of success, you all kind of share in that success, and you get that pride because you've all kind of contributed to it. And I think that's a key thing for sure.
And if I could add, I think of the three of us, I'm the one that's been here the longest at St. Francis. It's my 22nd year. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I love it here. So what I would say is that, we have, at St. Francis, we have a really great tradition of excellence, academic excellence, interpersonal excellence, sportsmanship. We've won awards from IHSA for sportsmanship. We've won state championships in all kinds of sports. For me, what I would say is that not only were we really proud of Bob and of the team and, of the individuals on the team, but I think there's a bigger picture that I see, which is that, like, everyone brought their talents and their abilities, and by putting all of that together, they became more than the sum of their parts. And that is something that is very Franciscan at heart, that everyone has something to offer to the good of the whole, that everyone has a gift or a talent or ability that they can share. And so for me, that's something that I see that I'm very proud of on this team, for our school. That's an incredible thing. And the other piece of it, too, is, we talk about the Francis Way, and we talk about the journey that we're all on. This team had quite a path to the championship, right? I mean, there were bumpy patches and there were rough spots, and to see the way that they persevered through it, we do a retreat here called Kairos, and one of the metaphors that's used for that is life path, and the idea that we walk it together, right? And that's, to me, that is something that I'm really proud of for these guys and for us, for our school.
Well, you mentioned Kairos, and I was going to ask that next, because I know when I was talking with Jamie, your wonderful communications director, last week, that was something we wanted to talk about. So I'm sure everybody who's listening to this have probably gone through Kairos, but to those who might have not, tell us a little about Kairos.
Sure. So Kairos is a retreat. It has long roots, going all the way back to Spain and the Cursillo movement. Kairos really, if I could boil it down, it's narrative theology. It's the idea that everyone has a story, and then in telling our stories and sharing our paths together, we can really come together to do amazing things. We can grow in our understanding of each other. We can, as I said earlier, we can nurture our relationships. We can learn the importance of serving others. We can really seek the wisdom that other people carry, and we can grow together in peace. That is such a key component of who we are at St. Francis. A teacher, the assistant principal who hired me here at St. Francis, said that when we brought Kairos in the early 90s, it completely changed the way the school felt. That it changed the way that students and faculty related to each other. It changed the way that students related to each other. It really showed a way of being together that the school hadn't done before. And so that's something that I'm really proud of, that we all, we have great support. We have support from our administration. We have support from our coaches when kids need to miss practice. To go on retreat, we have support from Dan in athletics, and especially our principal, Rand Hune, who, she makes sure that we have all the time that we need to do Kairos during the day, during the week. So it's a huge thing. And you can see when the kids come back from Kairos, the way that they are together, the affection that they have for one another, the way they walk gently with each other. It's really just, it's beautiful. And we see that in a smaller way with our teams. And again, that's something that I'm really proud of. As a coach, being able to do that, and then watching other coaches do that in such a great way. It's a great gift.
Final question, and this is really a two-part question. The first part of it is, what does it mean to be inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame? And two, for kids who are out there that may come to St. Francis, why choose to come here?
I'll go first. Obviously, being inducted, obviously, into any Hall of Fame is a tremendous honor. Obviously, when you're inducted in this, people notice the good of what you've been able to accomplish. And being able to be inducted in this Hall of Fame is a tremendous honor. It's something that our school is really excited about, obviously, with us having these meetings, being able to go hopefully to the banquet in May. It's tremendous. It just shows the hard work that our student body and our young men and women do here, and the great things that our teachers and faculty do. So we're really excited about that. And then obviously what people need to know about St. Francis is, yes, we all have, people want to say that the football program won a state championship. It's more about football. It's more about how we develop our young women and male men here. And as much as I am the football coach and I want to win state championship after state champions, it's you've said it multiple times, and it's been said multiple times, it's about developing young men and women. And football is only a game, and it's a game that I literally tell people all the time that you will not be able to play forever. You're either going to not want to do it anymore, you're going to get hurt, you can't do it anymore, but I promise you're going to get too old and you can't play it anymore. So what do you learn from St. Francis, not only in the classrooms, but in life and everything else, is something that I think that separates St. Francis from everybody else, is that we do such a great job of developing and teaching our young men and women to grow and be able to be ready for life after high school, going into college when mom and dad aren't there, and then hopefully becoming a great wife or a great husband one day, and teaching it and passing it on to their children.
The faith part of it, being inducted into this because of the faith part of it is a huge thing. Because not only are we being successful, but it tells us that we're doing it the right way as well, getting that success. And then I would just add, why St. Francis High School. I can talk quickly about how I got here. Rand was walking me around, and I was kind of looking at this mural, and she said that they had polled the students here at St. Francis High School, and they said to give them one word that typifies St. Francis. And the words that had the most people say were the biggest words. And then there were smaller words that only maybe a few people would say. And on this, it was kind of a big swirly thing. And on this mural, the three biggest words, were love, community, and family. And I thought, this is coming from the students. This isn't coming from the faculty, where the students are using that, and they're cared for so much here, that those are the words that they're using to describe that. And I said to myself, this might be the place for me.
So I would add to that, all three of us have kids who graduated from here. And I'm going to quote our Hall of Fame coach, Peg Kopech, winningest coach in Illinois history, who said to me when I first started here 22 years ago, said, I was talking to her about coaching, and she said, I tell my players, you may be an athlete for 4 years or for 4 more years after that, but you're always going to be a person. And so my job is to make you a good person. And I thought, I want to put that quote in my pocket and keep it, As a parent of a graduate, I can say that this school has made my kid a great person. the influences that he had here, the sports that he was able to play, the stuff that he was able to do here at St. Francis High School really shaped him and made him who he is today. So I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of this nomination. And what I would say to anyone looking at St. Francis is, what I just said. I trusted this place to send my own child, and bring your gifts, and we will make sure you grow with them.
It's a great way to finish it off here. Well, gentlemen, once again, congratulations on being inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame. The dinner coming up the weekend of Pentecost, Saturday, May 23rd at the Forrester Hotel in Lake Forest. We hope you guys can join us. And again, also congratulations on the state championship. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.